What's up, world? I never knew how much long hair would require when I decided to not get my hair cut again. But you live, you learn, you make girls jealous, right? Cool. I appreciate you checking this video out, by the way. This has got a general direction and a general flow to where I want to go with it, but it does not have a specific guideline. I've just kind of gone with the intention now to go ahead and change perceptions for my friends and just present questions that might, I don't know, just present a new way of looking at things for people to observe. We can change the way things are done a little bit, cool. If we can't, we tried. It is all part of the journey. That being said, I cannot tell everybody that's been on my journey thank you enough. I mean, to the people that have been homeless, that have had conversations with me, those have been meaningful. And that's what I want to show everybody, is that it's an opportunity to see the sign that you're asking for in everything that you do in life. And if you're not aware of that yet, we need to figure out why. Because it's not that you're not smart enough. You're definitely able to do it. But what's distracting you? That's a huge thing for me. I've tried very, very hard to get rid of as many distractions as I can, whether by turning them into tools or just not participating anymore. We have to observe why things matter to us. Why do we wake up every day to say the things that we say? Why do we wake up every day to talk to people, to do the things that we do, to go after the dreams that we have? What is it for? What is it for? The kisses of the sun were sweeter, didn't think I'd let them in my eyes. Like an exotic drink, the radio plays a song that I have never heard. I don't know what to do. Oh, not another word. Thanks for stopping by. Morning. It never really gets any less awkward for me yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Here's the thing. While everybody is in a fit about politics, about science, about medicine, about everything that they believe in, religion, atheism, capitalism, all of these isms. How distracted are we? Super distracted. I don't know if that's posing any problems in your life, but for me it does. For me, it's an issue when people that I surround myself with are not cognizant of situational awareness, right? And selective principality, right? So what the hell do I mean by both of those? Situational awareness is just simply understanding what's going on around you in a larger term, in a larger aspect than it being about you, right? When you go into businesses, do you think about every employee that could be working there? How much have you thought about the path that another might walk? And really given it thought. Because I think a lot of folks, if they were to do that a little more often, be grateful for what they have, because it's all relative. Don't kid yourself. Be grateful for what you have starting in the day. And continue to appreciate the small things that are actually incredibly significant, but we have gotten so used to them because they're there all the time, we no longer take their value for what it should be. So when we do that with that generalized thought, it can be spread amongst all of our actions throughout our day, right? I believe that. I believe that it's important to be aware of how you structure a sentence. And it came from turning my Instagram into a tool, right? We're all aware that Instagram is going to be a distraction. Duh, it's social media. To fight that is ridiculous. But to accept it is, to be wise about it, I believe. To go ahead and understand that that is a way to maybe make money, to go ahead and make a legacy, to go ahead and establish yourself in any niche brand or any branded niche of like community. But it does take a little bit of extra thought. And we have to learn how to give that thought, right? And in the right way. Because like I said again, are you somebody that, actually I haven't asked this yet, but are you somebody that complains about problems? Therefore just adding the problem plus your opinion? Or are you offering legitimate solutions? Because some of the best advice I was ever given was by a chef at Rusty Pelican. He said, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. And that's sunk in my thoughts. I did not use that information for what it should have been yet in that time, but I had to learn. But there is something that I did believe already. It's that there's an alrighty spirit. And what the hell does that mean? An alrighty spirit. It means that there's always going to be, it's going to be all right. Did you wake up today? How about yesterday? Yep, you're all right. You chasing animals to hunt every day to live? No? Cool. You have internet to watch this? Awesome. Cool. I would argue that your life's going pretty well so far with what I've identified, but whatever. If you can't see those because they're so in front of you, to where you're blinded. Cool. Maybe you should have them taken away. Maybe we should have more things taken away from us. Whether it's by government, whether it's by your parents, whether it's by a spouse or otherwise. Taking stuff away. It's not effective all the time. Several years ago, I put out a video called Adoption, Abortion, and Cancer Didn't Kill Me. And this is why I think, or whatever my title was, intentionally clickbaity. But that was my initial jump into chasing what made me happy. Since third grade, I've had an issue of always learning how to do something and then helping somebody else do it so that they can get further too. Helpful to a fault. But that's where you have to do what I'm suggesting, is identify the situational awareness, right? Got to understand what's going on And for me, it's been, hey, I'm helping these other people go ahead and brand themselves, but who understands what I'm doing out there, really, besides them? Besides the people that I target, am I actually reaching anybody? I'm not, despite the tactics that I help people grow their brands with. Oh, how silly am I, right? That's just what we do as humans. I truly believe that we should never have it figured out. Because what would that do? It's why I did that video about why we need the struggle. You know, we need the struggle because struggle gives us the best things in our life. We get credibility. We get a responsibility. We get legacy based on that. So why are we not paying attention to it more? Everybody is running around. And especially in Miami, trying to impress people they don't even like. It is mind-blowing to me. How does that make sense on any principled level for anybody to do that? To talk shit about people and then go do the things that they do to try to become one of them. Because what? They seem so happy while you're talking shit? Why do we believe what we believe? Why do you believe what you believe? This is where the principality comes in. Why are you principled on some of the things that you're principled on? For instance, myself, when I started servicewithstandards.com 3 years ago, not another food blog, it was a website on how to become a better waiter, right? It's real stories of mine that were shit days and what I did to make them okay. Because here's the thing about waiters. They don't realize that at every table, that's the chance to completely change the way somebody's been doing something since the beginning of time. It's not sexual. It's eating. And if you have aspirations, if waiters have aspirations to become something bigger, something more, or they're in college to do something different, you never know what going above and beyond for that guest at that table might do for your career. I have been offered countless jobs from just going a little bit above and beyond for my guests by not judging them on whatever. I don't know if you know that I helped run a Michelin-style restaurant for 3 years. And right before COVID, we were at the top of 1,000 museum. I got that opportunity because 3 years ago I decided to go ahead and write solutions on how to be a better waiter, which led to then realizing that, you know what, not everybody reads all these things like I thought they would. Let me go ahead and try to learn how to do video. So all this has been taught, self-taught by YouTube. Shout out Peter McKinnon, my boy Vic, Brian Abion, aka Motivated, Jerry, Vicky. I learned this to teach. I learned this to tell a different story because it's not being done right. It can be done with more thought. So that's what I want to do. We'll go ahead and put more thought into it and we'll change it. And after 3 years, we're at the position now that we can. It's May 4th. It's May 4th of 2021. My birthday's in 20 days. Is it considered a Larry Bird year? Larry Bird jersey 33. Thing is, I came out here 7 years ago for rehab for oxys, opioids. And in there they told us something. They said that if you spend half of the amount of time and energy that you do getting your fix, but on helping somebody get through something in their life that's difficult, a really tough part of their life, you'll change the world. What? Heroin junkies changing the world? Are you serious? What does that look like? I don't know, go look at my videos. That's what it looks like. I was adopted, and I have been so fortunate to have had the best family raise me. And the thoughtfulness that I put into my videos are all things that I learned from them, from my parents. Elaine and Jim. You know, my mom is somebody that gets very touched when somebody gives her a compliment on her salt and pepper hair in the grocery line. So why not compliment somebody on something that they tried to? You know, they put effort into that. Why would we not do that? Why is it a problem to gas up all of your friends that are trying? Here's another thing for anybody that is trying. Watch, your biggest supporters are not going to be anybody that's following you now. The reasons you're scared to go ahead and jump off and do these things are in your head. You're going to gain new followers. You're going to gain a new brand. You're going to gain a new niche development essentially by just chasing what you want to do. But you have to do you. And that is the most important thing. Because when we do us, when I do me, and I do me in the sense of my ikigai, I have found my ikigai. I'll go over that in a minute, but you know what? We should probably just identify that now. If you're not familiar with what an ikigai is, what the ikigai is the Japanese term for the purpose of life, your purpose of being. Right? So it's 4 things. It's what are you good at? What does the world need? What can you be paid to do? And what do you love to do? Right? That's my approach to content. That's my approach to brand strategy. That's how I do everything. Sprinkle a little ikigai knowledge with some Gary V knowledge, you know, some Joe Rogan confidence, Andrew Schultz brevity, you know, just Akash Singh dorkiness, Theo Vaughn Southern, Brendan Schaub silly. Combine a little bit of all these guys, right? But I have got to show that if all of them can do these things, I can do what I'm doing. Damn it, if Trump can be the president, I don't care if you like him or hate him. Homie said he was going to become the president. And he did it. You can't argue it. So why can't you do what you want to do? Literally, why can't you? What excuse are you making? I try to shoot so many of my friends, guys and girls, for free. And oftentimes they turn me down. Strangers are always yes, friends are not. They're scared. They're under the impression that they have to be a certain way. Why? Do you not like me because I am so headstrong towards my goals and my dreams? Because I remember when I didn't have these, I was nobody. I was legit. I was what you would call, oops, I accidentally touched the screen over here. All right, focus on my face. Show us your face. We want to see your face. I 100% did forget what I was talking about there for a second, though. I do think that content can be done, though, by Ikigai. I think that that is what most of us need to learn to feel fulfilled. We're not taught that for, I don't know, pick any number of reasons why. From the American education system to how religious we are in the sense of, I don't know, Christianity thinks. That's another question that I have, is that when you examine what was going on with ISIS, as terrible as it was, they were just trying to do Christianity again. And if you're not familiar with how Christianity spread itself globally, it wasn't through peace, right? Peace isn't what makes people move. Complacency isn't what affects change, is it? When was the last time you know that it did? I don't know when it did. Right? Usually there's violence. So that's what's happening. It's going to be like this until we realize our power within. It sounds so corny. It should literally be in Nebraska. Oh man, my puns are amazing. No, but for real. We need to truly examine when we say the things that we say, why we do. Because at the end of the day, words do matter, right? That's one of my favorite things to say. So words matter. When somebody says they're going straight there, I love to retort with, because going gay there would just be offensive. Usually a lot of people don't understand what that means, except it's not that hard. It just means that the words that you used were not exactly literal for what you wanted to convey, you know? And I like to call it HR appropriate humor, what I do to people. You know, I will go ahead and I will lead the horse to water. I'm not going to finish the joke though, because I like to make it to where if anything that I ever said was read to anybody in court, I'm all right. But I do know how to use your mind against you. I know how to use it for you too. And that's generally why I like to do a little trick against you, is because it'll go ahead and crack that perception lock. And I think that we've all got this kind of like, you know, when you touch your phone and you hold it down on the screen, it locks on focus and color and lighting and stuff. I don't know if you know that it does that, but it does. We do that with our own life, right? We forget to stay learning. We forget to stay malleable. We forget to stay youthful in the sense that, yo, if we're not challenging ourselves and having fun while doing it, that is a slow path to death. Right? I saw something the other day that said something about Jim Carrey and death. I'm trying to remember it now, but you know, my thoughts are, now that I've discovered my ikigai, I can't not grind every day. What's my ikigai? So, I'm going to ask a few questions to you first, and then I'll go over what mine is. Now, if you go wake up every day and do something for the rest of your life, every damn day, for the rest of your life, what are you going to do that's not going to bore you, right? What are you going to do that's not going to get boring or monotonous to the point to make you stop? Thomas Keller, you know, my old business partner, is an alumni of French Laundry. And there was a thing that I saw in Thomas Keller, and he said that he doesn't hire people with passion, he hires people with desire, right? Because passion is fleeting. Desire is consistency. And desire is the will to go in every day to the kitchen, to look at the same ingredients, day in, day out, and still be incentivized creatively to do something new. That's what he looks for. When I heard him say that, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I do with the camera, I think. I don't stop trying to learn how to do it better, but I'm also trying to tell another story. My whole purpose of learning these tools has simply been to tell people's stories, but a very specific person. I'm after a very specific type of individual that I will go ahead and work with. It is a person that is driven. It is a person that is out there doing something already. It is a person that is, whether on Instagram, they're already doing the steps like using hashtags or I can see they're trying to use a little strategy, or maybe they did their own little startup. You know, maybe they started their own brand, maybe they did whatever. But it's something recognizable that I can go ahead and identify with them. Hey, what if you did it this way? Because when you realize that the American education system still has not been touched since we made the Bell system, which, do you know why the Bell systems exist in our classrooms? It was originally designed to switch workers in factories when they first were invented. Then we said, you know what, let's go ahead and pop those right into the little escuelas, and we'll make sure that everybody can go ahead and switch rooms also. I don't know. Now we realize, as Americans, we are so low on the rankings of most developed countries as statistics of education. Maybe we did a little different. Maybe we should have done a little different. But we haven't even touched the Bell system, right? So how can we expect something different from this bureaucracy? Right, the more that we try to come up with solutions within that bubble, the more we're still within their bubble, you know? When you realize that you have to go ahead and establish yourself as a person to go ahead and say the things that you're going to say to the public, the next step becomes easier, right? Because the next step is identifying what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and money was worthless to everybody on earth? Huh? How are you going to provide value? How do you already provide value to where somebody's thinking about whether or not you've eaten, and they'll go then kill an animal for you because you can't use money? If you're not doing that with your brand, you're doomed to fail. If you're not actively helping somebody solve a problem in their life, your brand is not going to last. There's a change happening in the market. There's a change happening in the way business is being done. And it's through genuine relationships based on a perception change towards collaboration over competition. Because at the end of the day, Monsters Inc. was right. Yeah, Monsters Inc. They thought it was through competition in the beginning against their neighbor that got power. What do we learn in the end? Collaboration, laughter, joy, teamwork broke their capacitors that they didn't even know how to contain that power. So don't tell me that all these war terms for competition and dog eat dog and let's get them before they get us. Do you not understand how much sense that doesn't make? How can somebody get mad at the police when they get pulled over because it becomes all of a sudden a us against them thing? When as waiters, people are against the guest. As retail workers, they hate the customer. You know, like, we love to dive into these things. What gives us the right to say what we want to say? That woke message that you posted on your Instagram, why should anybody listen to it? Why should anybody pay attention to what you're saying? Who are you? Right? Who are you? Who are we? Say anything to anybody about anything. Who are we to ask the police to start behaving a certain way when we can't even do it in our own lives? I'm not saying what they're doing is right. I'm just saying that we honestly have to identify the root of why we believe what we believe and why we're saying what we're saying, and if we even have the right to do. Because I realized that as soon as I started to try to fix the problem of waiters being shitty waiters by giving solutions to them, I stopped complaining about the problem, right? So when you start trying to fix things, you no longer complain about them. And when you no longer complain about them, chances are you've got solutions for the problems. What's that mean? That means you're not annoying people. That means you're not bitching and moaning. That means you're trying to change the world. You know how the world's changed? It's changed by little bits every day. Little bits of work. You know, whether it be on yourself first, the world second, well, it has to be that way. But, you know, if you're not good, how can you take care of somebody else, right? But get to the root of why you believe what you believe, so that you can say the things that you say. And they can have some substance to them, right? For instance, if this next statement is too triggering for you, you got to identify why. Not to me, just to yourself. The fact that I'd have any kind of power to get some emotion out of you through words right now when I'm sitting on a bench by the beach, sucks to be you. Biden supporters and Trump supporters are the exact fucking same. Now, I'm an Eagle Scout. I was in Order of the Arrow. And I also did ceremonies for Order of the Arrow. Order of the Arrow is like the Honor Society of Boy Scouting. And then I did the induction ceremonies too for them. I'm a big rule follower. I'm a big, by the book. When it makes sense. Foundationally, the things that I learned there made sense. It doesn't make sense for me to watch somebody get fucked up all the time on their stories and their Instagram, and then they want to ask the community for something. Why all of a sudden do you want to, or why all of a sudden do we need to give you something? When you find yourself in a pinch, you gotta ask yourself why. It's somebody else's fault. None of this world is anybody else's fault. I watch countless friends enable each other by allowing them to post memes that are self-deprecating and just toxic. What are you leaving? What are you literally adding to the world with those? Nothing good. And then you want to go burn sage, probably? Come on. Identify them all. Identify the moments where you get a reaction emotionally, right? Why is it charged? Identify it. What's going on? Because chances are there's something at the root of that when you figure it out, it's going to level you up, not only mentally, but a level up on the mental side will go ahead and level up the attitude, the way you move, the way you make decisions, the way you feel about yourself. Personal confidence is so much more valuable than anybody ever knew. That's another reason why I do content. I'm so tired of people I'm so tired that it's gotten to a point that people take their life because they don't feel adequate. Why do we assign people that kind of power over us? At some point we have to use second step thinking. All right, what's second step thinking? Second step thinking is simply what everybody else does and then how you can go a step past right? And make it to where it's you and your personality, right? Argue me this. And I strongly believe, this is a hospitality principle that I don't know if it's written anywhere, but it's my thought. It's, well, hold please. We go to a venue for the name originally or because it was recommended. But oftentimes, why do we go back? And it's not for that seamless experience either. In my experience, it's been because of the staff. The staff comes from leadership, though, right? And what does leadership do? They can't see problems, y'all. They have to see solutions. They can't be petty, y'all. They got a business to run. What's ironic is when that same person goes home then and just forgets all the principles that they used at work in their own life. Sucks, man. We try so hard to force things. Shit. What does forcing you get? What does forcing anything get? Why does force need to be used? When things go with the flow, it's never needed, right? If you prepare for things by just calling them what they are and moving forward, second step, you can account for the things that might have been shortcomings prior to your new way of thinking. Why I use Trevor Noah's special instead of Patricia as an example, because he gets called the South African equivalent of the N-word. And he says to his mom, he tells her the story, he's all upset, and she goes, Trevor, you have to take that hate, gotta wash it with the love of Jesus Christ, and give it back to the world as love, right? So, coincidentally, when I heard that, I paused Netflix immediately. And I was like, yeah, wait. If I try just a percent to telling stories with a solution at the end of them instead of just telling a crappy thing that happened to me, I thought, I can't do that. There's no way I can do 100%. You know? Then I literally thought, well, what about 5? 5 every day, 5% better every time, you run into a negative situation. You can't do it right every time. 5% is still better, right? It's still forward progression. But that's what made me realize that a legacy is never forced. A legacy is forged through perceiving what the world needs in any given moment. The world needs knowledge. The world needs help. The world needs awareness. The world needs you to be there for others, to be there in the moment. You don't get the future, you never get the past back, right? So just chill and right now. This is all you get. You know? And then especially, what makes you entitled to more time? How are you earning your day? Are you sleeping all day? Watching TV all day? What are you adding to the world? What are you adding to the universe to get something from it then? I've been given over 10 grand worth of gear. Because people asked if that would help me with my journey and would help me with accomplishing what I'm trying to do. Yeah, these are strangers. Like, these are people that don't owe me anything. But they see the daily grind I put in. You know, not many do. And that's why I continue to work hard about it, you know? We're given all these things that can go ahead and become crutches for us or distractions for us, you know? And they're simply tests. They're simply tests from the universe to go ahead and see if we've earned, or if we are going to earn, what it is that we say that we want, right? That's where I believe the phrase, you know, if you love it, set it free comes from. And I've had to learn that consistently over the last few years. I went celibate for over a year, you know, just to make sure that I knew how to make decisions not based on, like, sexual things. And I was like, yeah, I can't be distracted, ha ha ha. And people can't pay me whatever they want to just do shoots for them. I choose who I work with, what I want to do. And ironically, every single time that I meet somebody that is impressed with my work to the point where they're reading my blogs, right, my old blogs, and they're finishing them, that always awestrikes me, you know, that always sets me into a trance. I start believing everything that they do as an adult becomes, like, unique and, like, special, you know. But thing I've realized that that's just been distraction tests from the universe again. I chase these goals until I get something like the attention of somebody that I like. And it's like I've been in the past ready to give up those dreams, you know? And that's what I don't want to have happen to somebody else, is that I need people to understand that there are going to be tests in all sorts of ways. They're not going to come in the ways that you think. Because if they did, seriously, if they did, really, do you think you're going to be ready for everything? No, you're going to not be ready for most things, right? Accept that. Accept that you can't change those things. Accept that if you just find out the reason for your being by figuring out, okay, what are you going to do that is a skill, right? What skills do you possess? Who are you? Sadhguru says this. Who are you without the invention of anybody else? What have you done to earn the time you have? You gotta ask these things. Because if you don't, you won't realize the value of your own life. And now who the fuck am I to say anything about that? I'm a guy that has lost 37 friends and family members since they've been 15. I'll be 33 in 20 days. I also beat heroin addiction, opioid addiction rather. You know, I grew up as an adopted kid. Beat cancer at 21. Had a restaurant at the top of the most expensive building in Miami. These are things that I have earned through intangible skills. And it's simply by thinking of how I can help somebody else first and genuinely give it my all without ever expecting it in return. Why I walk the streets with so much gear on me at all times and not worried is because I know that I'm fine. I'm out there grinding like they are. There's no weird vibes between us. There's no scaredness with me. I've been in condemned houses snorting heroin in Overtown. And I made friends with them. Like, they're people, man. Felons are people. You're a person, right? And a beautiful one. Yeah, like, get a load of yourself. Yo, imagine, cut yourself with like paper. You heal without even thinking about it. So don't tell me that you're not ready to do something that you dream of doing, right? Record that podcast, y'all. Like I said, your followers are not going to be the ones that are following you now. Chances are, if you're watching this video, we didn't go to high school together. And that's okay. Learn to accept that things are never permanent. Learn to accept that you're going to be given moments in time with people for reasons. Appreciate them. Appreciate why you ran into somebody. Appreciate why you had a person ask you for something. Appreciate why strangers interact with you. Appreciate these moments in life. Because then you'll get more. And more. And it won't cost you anything. And you may change somebody's day. You may make the world a better place. Who knows what a smile that somebody gives can do, right? If you make somebody smile and that smile attracts their future partner, and that couple ends up having a baby that cures cancer, something as seemingly insignificant as smiling or being kind or opening the door or saying, here's one. How many of you say, hey, have a great day when somebody gets off an elevator? Why not? What's so wrong about gassing them up? It's nothing, dude. And then someone's gonna probably do it to you later. And it's gonna feel awesome. Like, you can get everything you want. Period. You can get everything you want. You can live, some would say, a damn good life. Shout out to Adam. DJ Adam. When you go after things that you want. It can't be the bad thing, so you have to be honest. You know, I have a belief now that of all the gods. Why? Because atheism sucked. It felt forced. It's easier to believe that all of them could exist than that none of them don't exist. You know? Because at the end of the day, where's the evidence that puts one ahead of the other? I've not seen it. I went to Catholic school, baptized Methodist, confirmed Episcopal, Baptist University, Catholic high school, non-denominational service by choice, atheism before cancer. And after chemo, I really just kind of thought that, like, they all have just as much existence validity as they non-existent. So, let's run it. Thank all the gods, right? At the end of the day, they're all there to teach you something, aren't they? It's just man that perverted the text, right? What are they trying to teach you at the end of the day? This is a perception thing, again. They're trying to teach you to be okay with it now. They're trying to teach you to be peace, right? They give you general guidance to these principles. Nobody wants to listen. There's a way to adapt to all of this, yeah? There's a way to change the way you see everything. But identify why you believe the things that you believe and why you see things the way you see them. Because only then will you be able to go ahead and change them. Only then will you see where it can be grown. Only then will you see where you can go ahead and identify a new way of thinking. Progression doesn't come from doing nothing. Why do you half-ass anything? Why are you half-assing your mental state, right? If you go to the gym all the time, why do you half-ass your brain? Why is it now you want to half-ass something in your life, huh? That's what I mean by not credible. You lose credibility in these times, Why should somebody listen to your political stance? Why should somebody go ahead and care about the things you care about? Why should anybody do anything based on your suggestion? Who are you? What are you doing to identify that? What are you doing to build that? That's why I work with so many bartenders and stuff about their careers and about their branding, is because in 5 years when AI is doing it for all the brands, they're not going to have anything. But also I see the kind of content that's being created out there right now by people that have never been a bartender, and you know what? It can stand to be improved. So that's what we'll do. That's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and go show all the restaurants how to do things a little bit better for their marketing, go ahead how to strategize more with social media teams. So I can do that. I can go ahead and show people literally the type of content they can shoot without even knowing the type of place it is, based on a few questions. It's just a nuanced way of thinking about how to present yourself, the brand, the business, the person, whatever, to the right people. Guess what? We all thought it was through this net, right? No. No. You got to go specific, right? Tailor it to the people that are going to be using whatever it is that you're trying to put in front of people, but also make sure that it helps somebody, right? When you realize on social media that, Kim Kardashian and all these celebrities, followers, they're all bought, right? They're all purchased. Brands have realized that macro influencers are no longer a thing. They are, but they're losing touch because they don't actually affect a purchase, right? What affects a purchase are the people that are the most vocal in the social media community, that are inspiring subtleties, subtle movements, subtle purchases, subtle venue visits based on their content. So how are you doing that? Are you doing that? Do you need help doing that? I got you. But these are all things you got to consider. Shit ain't the same, y'all. Shit ain't the same. So why are you approaching it the same? Don't fight the change. Just accept it. And if you can't, identify why. We're all here for a reason. You watch this video to now for a reason. What are you going to do? What are you going to do today to change your situation and change your perception of life? If you're able to do that suggestion that I taught about figuring out a way to tell a solution from a bad story instead of telling a shitty story, what's going to end up happening is that you'll get to where I am years later. You don't see bad. You just see opportunities of growth and change. You just see opportunities to learn. Failing is the best thing that can happen to somebody because it gives you an objective to get over. It's when you don't know why you failed. It's when you don't know why things are happening that is a problem. Forget the floundering, y'all.